Alright, this is for your master title block and how to set up the sheets. I've already started a new drawing, as you can possibly see right up here. Drawing number 3, I've started a new drawing, and I'm going to show you how to set up the different sheets for the master title block. I've set my units and I've set my dim styles already, and we don't know what we're going to be using this for, so I just set a general to dimension decimal inches on the drawing units, and the dim styles I set at 0.25 for the arrowhead and for the text height, and then I set it to decimal inches on the architecture, on the how they show up as far as the dimension styles. I set it for decimal inches. Alright, so we'll go ahead and get going. So we have our first space here is our 8.5 by 11 sheet. And that's what we want, is an 8.5 by 11, so we can go ahead and draw our title block and border in here. And I'm not going to draw all the title block and border, but I'll show you an example of what it looks like when we're done. But you go ahead and draw your title block and border in here and get that done, and then you'll rename that. Left click on layout 1, right click and rename 8.5 space by 11. And then click out of that, so that represents your 8.5 by 11 sheet. Your next sheet is layout 2. You go ahead and left click on layout 2 and then right click and go to page setup manager, Select that and then make sure layout 2 is selected, and you're going to modify that. You're going to modify the layout 2. We would typically choose our plotter, but since I don't have an 11 by 17 plotter, we just jump down to the paper size and we choose the 11 by 17. And make sure you get the ANSI B 11 by 17, not 17 by 11. 11 by 17 paper size on that. Select that, and that's pretty much all you have to do. Just hit OK, and now you can see behind there my 11 by 17 sheet is there, and just make sure layout 2 is selected and hit close. And then you're all set. There's your 11 by 17. I gave you instructions how to draw the 11 by 17 title block and border on that as well. So the next one here is a layout that should not be here. I'm going to go ahead and delete that. And then on the layout 2, that the 11 by 17 we just made, I'm going to left click on it, right click, and then I'm going to rename, and this will be 11 space X space 17, and click out of it. And now we have the start of our 11 by 17 sheet. The next one will be a C sheet. And what I'm going to do now is left click on 11 by 17, make sure it's selected, right click, and then from the pop out, I'm going to go from template. I'll choose that, and then this next one is going to be our C sheet, and that will be for the manufacturing down here. I believe that's at the bottom. And hit open, select it, left click on it, and then hit open. And then make sure it's the ISO A1 layout and hit OK. And now you still have your 11 by 17. You didn't see anything happen, but if you look down next to the 11 by 17 tab, you have a new tab that just populated there. Left click on that, and now we have their C sheet, and we can rename that as well. Left click and then right click on it and rename, and then we'll just call that the C sheet. And then left click out of that, and then we're going to follow almost the same process for our D sheet. Left click, make sure on the last tab there, and then right click again, go from template, and then this time we're going to go to sheet sets, file. Open that up, double click on that, and Architectural Imperial, and that's the one we want, Architectural Imperial, and then hit open. Make sure it's Arch D, hit OK, and then again, nothing happened here, but if we look down next to the C sheet, we have the Arch D sheet, left click on that, and now you have the start of that. So, what you have to do on each, let's go ahead and rename that our D sheet. Or 24 by 36, either one you want to name. All right. So now we have our 4 sheet sets, and we're going to do a save as. And I'll go ahead and take this to a desktop, and I have a couple file folders there. And I'm going to go ahead and name this master title block. And I'll go ahead and put the date. And that's all I have to do. I know where it's going. I'm going to save it. And now up here at the top I have the master title block, the date on that. And right here I have the tab that says master title block. And now I'm all set on that. So the last thing I want to show you is how this looks all set up with the title blocks and borders and viewports and all that. So I'm going to go ahead and select the master title block file. I already have one open from a previous session, and this is the one completed. So I showed you how to make the sheets, and this is what it should look like when you've completed the sheet. So there's my 8.5 by 11 with a title block and border. Here's my 11 by 17. This information is associated with each packet as far as the size and everything of the title block. And I have a PDF of that. And then the C sheet we're going to leave alone. And then the D sheet, we've made a viewport. I showed you how to make that. And then also we'll fill out the title block to this extent on there. And that will be your submission. You will also do a PDF. Now, here is how to make a PDF of this real quick. Let's see here. I just want to check how much time I have, and I'm not sure this is going to show up in here if I can get to it. Need to adjust this screen just a little bit. Let's see if I can. I guess I can't adjust it while I'm recording. So what you're going to do to make this PDF is go back to your 8.5 by 11. That's the sheet you want to open up on the PDF. You go to the big A for the Anaheim Angels, and I'm not sure you can see this, but do the big A for Anaheim Angels, and you go to Export. Export. Hover over Export and go to PDF. PDF. Now, from here, it's pretty much the same as you make a regular PDF, but there's one change in here. So I need to know where I'm going to send it to. I'm going to send it to my desktop, and here's the file name. So I'm sending this PDF of my master title block to the desktop, and here's the file name I'm using. And I need to do one other thing here. I need to export it. Here's what you probably will see, current layout, when you first do this. I've already done it once. Here's what you'll probably see is export to current layout. What I want to do is export to all layouts. That will include every single sheet that I have listed down here in the bottom left. So make sure that is changed to all layouts, and then just hit save. And it'll make a PDF of one PDF of all 4 sheets. One PDF of all 4 sheets. So hopefully that will help you get going in the right direction. As always, any questions, email me and let me know if this was helpful or not. Thanks so much for listening.